I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Dr. Bones, listening to Dr. Bones.
And now it's time for another episode of Blogger's Corner with Britt.
Hi, Britt.
Hi, I'm Britt from eclecticpop.com, and welcome to a new episode of Blogger's Corner. Happy to have you with us, so we'll just jump right into the latest episode of Penny Dreadful. It was a good episode. It definitely wasn't dreadful. Just some of the highlights were that Vanessa and Dorian Gray finally hooked up. There was a twist to that. We'll kind of talk a little bit about coming up. Brona and Ethan, who they got back together after having a little bit of a fight, and I think it was the episode before last. We didn't even have an update. They're back together, and Sir Malcolm came close to finding Mina, only to be pulled away in the carnage of a fiery aftermath, and the creature was rejected by his lady love, and he then went on, well, he killed a person, and he confronted Dr. Frankenstein and basically said, you know, time's running out, buddy. And so things are kind of coming to a head on the show. Quite frankly, this episode, I really tried out of the bottom of my heart to find something for the creature, but he just keeps, every time I feel bad for him, he kills another person who just really didn't do anything wrong, so I'm having a little trouble there, and I do wish the story would pick up just a tad more, and so hopefully this demon storyline is coming to a head with Vanessa's character, but what did you think of this episode, Dr. Bones?
See, I'll tell you, I agree with you on many levels, and it's not just the fact that the beast killed, it's that, like, why on earth would you bring Van Helsing on and then kill him off, like, right away?
I know,
See,
I was so shocked.
That's what really kind of pissed me off, is like, you gotta be kidding. You just brought him on, just started getting the vampires, and then just like that, Frankenstein's creation killed him. I was like, ugh. So that kind of frustrated me a little bit. The fact that Ethan and Bronna got back together, I pretty much saw that coming, you know, and it was a good thing because they've got a good rapport going right now, and obviously Bronna is a bit of a main character, and also the fact that Ethan was offered by Timothy Dalton's character, for some reason I'm blanking the name right now, but he offered him pretty much premium care for Bronna, but he wouldn't take it, which I think was kind of silly on his part, but I'm sure at some point he'll be taking him up on it very soon because it does look like she's getting worse as opposed to better.
Yeah, I was surprised at that as well, that he kind of rebuffed that offer. Well, not kind of, he did. And I don't really get why he did that, and I also just think it's coming from a mile away that she is going to end up being the bride of Frankenstein. Well, I mean, not his bride, but, you know, the creature's bride.
Right.
And I kind of ready to get onto it. I feel like viewers are really savvy and smart enough to kind of know that that's happening, and I don't really know why we're wasting time. You know, I think there's only going to be 8 episodes this season, so it's kind of time to go ahead and tell that story and stop stringing us all along.
Well, I think they're trying to show a bit of love interest first before they kind of drop that one, right? So it would be my...
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, I just feel for me, like, it would be one thing if the creature had been, you know, we saw him loving this actress from afar, but he hasn't really shown any interest in Bronna, and I don't really see him as this romantic. Has been set for me to really find that to be a believable, you know, situation.
Right, I did mean the love interest between Ethan and Bronna, not Bronna and the creature.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no problem. We could go that way too, but
My bad.
no, but you're right. No, we can go that way too. That's absolutely fine. So it still makes sense.
I definitely think Ethan will fight the creature for her, and if it does happen, I don't know. I don't see her not loving Ethan anymore, and then feeling something for the creature. I guess it's just going to be full blown unrequited.
Well, yeah, and the thing is too is like. Just give me one moment.
I'm ready to get there too. I'm ready to wolf out.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's I think it's going to happen, and with the whole Brana being pretty close to death, it's a good potential that will happen sooner than later.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And okay. So there was one big kind of twist there at the end. Well, not Vanessa. She ended up doing a hover around in the air, and Sir Malcolm said there's something that he was getting ready to tell her. So I kind of interested in speculating. What do you think that means? I have some theories, but I'm not too sure.
You know what? I'm not exactly sure. That's what's one thing I was trying to think of, and I just not 100% either way which way to go with this one. Just because he could reveal a secret that maybe like years ago when he came back from one of his hunting expeditions or his exploring expeditions, he somehow brought something back that I guess possibly could have possessed her, and still doesn't realize how it got in her, even though she's saying no. It's one of those things that everybody's got a voice and they just got to ignore it and not let it in.
Right.
So other than that, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Yeah, my only speculation at this point, I think that is a great theory. My only thing was that maybe he's her biological father. I just don't know at this point.
Okay, no, that's possible. That's a good twist.
Yeah, because we know that her mom and him had they had a past,
right.
But I don't really know if it's anything that happened before she was born.
Well, that's right, and there's just a few more things about that episode. For anybody who's not familiar with the book, the Pictures of Dorian Gray, one point, because in the show he's just beyond, we'll say, effed in the head. I mean, like, so with the whole cutting thing during the sex scene, like, I thought that was a little much, but I was like, okay. But later on, he goes to pretty much, they don't show it, but it's pretty much just like the book. It's pretty much a portrait of himself. It kind of self heals because you see that happening. So I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. I was kind of wondering if they're going to bring that around. And the other thing is too is just obviously, ironically, not too long after what's her name? Victoria? Vanessa. I don't know why, but I'm having a brain fart on names today. But when Vanessa said, that the voices in yourself and you just can't let it in, and obviously during that sexual experience, we'll call it, she let him in. But no, the ending kind of stood up to its name as Penny Horde, when she just kind of head tilts back and she starts floating off the ground. It's like, now that's creepy. Now that's the stuff I want to see.
Yeah, that was very twisty and disturbing. I thought that really worked very well as an effect. I don't know how I like the subtleness of that. I mean, yeah, it was really crazy, but it was kind of a little more subtle. I don't know how next episode it looks like she's going to be completely consumed by this, possession. So right. I don't know. It was shocking and kind of hit you, but when you're inundated with it for an entire episode next week, I'm curious to see how that goes. But I do find it very interesting that she finally had another sexual encounter, and then that's when the demon took over. So there's definitely a connection there. Not too subtle either.
Well, no kidding. And just to go back the episode before that other section she was in, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, but was she literally it's too early for the word I want to use, but was she quote unquote actually doing the devil?
Oh man, that's That's what it looked like. That's what it seemed like to me.
He's like this right here is like messed up. You know, kind of reminds you just a little bit of The Exorcist. You know, so.
Yeah, that was crazy, and it's weird that the devil came to her in the form of Sir Malcolm,
well, that's
other
it.
people can't see it.
Well, and it's just probably just one of those things that, excuse me, come to someone as usually like when these things, if whether any of it's true, no, the whole supernatural thing in general, usually like rule of thumb is if you're visited by a ghost spirit, the devil, what have you, usually they come in the form of someone you'd recognize. So I can see that, and being a father figure, even though it's extremely gross because of what happens following that. If you think about it, even though it's not her father, you know what I'm getting at. So,
Yes.
kind of gross, but I just really weird at the same time. I would have thought, if showing up to her, I thought he might show up to her as her old boyfriend.
Oh yeah, you mean the guy her Nina's brother?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I'm still really curious, speaking of that episode, as to what exactly Mina's brother's damage was. He rebuffed her advances. I don't know what was going on with that guy, but it was, I'm still puzzled over exactly what his whole issues were, and I guess we're going to find out eventually how he died in Africa, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, you know, the other thing is too is like I wasn't at all expecting when they got on the ship. I knew there was gonna be something tripped out on the ship, but I wasn't expecting. I didn't realize. I guess just didn't put the two and two together. Even though they talked about it, and I should have. But it was when they were looking for Mina on the boat that she was gonna be essentially like a vampire, because like when they were walking around, you seeing all these bodies like lying there, you're not sure whether they're asleep or what's going on. Then one by one, all the red eyes, it's kind of light up, and they're all waking up. I mean,
yeah, that was spooky.
It was creepy, but it was a really good action scene. I mean, that was really well done.
It was, and it seemed like the vampire. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed like the vampire turned all of those creatures all had blonde hair, and they kind of resembled her, and it seems like they're kind of like copies, or when they got turned into a vampire, they look like her, or they look like that. They all seem to have the same look.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Pretty much, what's that one character? Is like, kind of almost look like a banshee.
Right.
You know, and now that I think of it, yeah, they kind of look like, remind me of a banshee, with the exception of the red eyes.
There you go. See, I'm not super familiar with the banshee, but that sounds completely like it fits. I'm really curious if they actually just say it's a banshee instead of saying it's a vampire. I'm not sure. You see, when I think of a vampire, I think of a creature who's really sleek and seductive, someone more like a Dorian Gray type, someone you don't see it coming and bang, you got you right in the neck.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to see this kind of wild, primal vampire that they're showing. But I mean, I think every mythos is a little different. But it's interesting that Van Helsing, his wife got turned, and see, that was another thing. He got killed, and we had so many other questions about how his wife got turned, how long this has really been going on. There was a lot more to play with that character.
Well, yeah, no kidding. And like, I wasn't expecting to say like, you know, like, was she ill? It's like, no, I just drove a stake through her heart. I was not expecting that. So it's like,
I know, shocker.
It's like one of those. Whoa, okay, now I'm more interested. Let's go.
Yeah, that was very interesting. And Frankenstein didn't seem as shocked by it. I don't know. Now, how do you feel about his character? Because I'm kind of mixed. Part of me is annoyed by him, and then part of me kind of feels like, well, he was trying to do a good thing, and he went about it the wrong way, but he's really conflicted about it, so you can't really completely write him off. And I don't think he is essentially a bad person, but juxtaposed to all the other characters, he simply isn't as lively or as interesting to me.
Yeah, he's pretentious for one, and he just I don't know. I kind of agree with you that he's not a very interesting character, at least not at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think he'll die before the end of the season?
I think it's a possibility.
Mm.
Because really all he's doing is crying and feeling remorseful, so he's not really advancing, you know? And he gets just a little bit glimmer of hope, and then the creature kills someone he loves, and then he's crying again, and then remorseful, and then...
I know he doesn't even raise his voice, like, how could you?
Yeah, it's the constant monotone voice. It's like you don't. It's exactly like the chief in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's never any change in attitude, nothing like that. It's always the same kind of straight voice. This is honestly, it's like, this is honestly the best day of my life. You have no idea. Yeah. I'm very sad right now. I just lost my dog. But never changes. It's always the same tone. It doesn't change. You have no idea if he's BSing you or if he's telling the truth. Or if he's... Go ahead.
I was saying, and that works great if you're using it for comedic effect and acknowledging how bizarre that is. But when you're acting like this is a completely reasonable response to things, it sounds a little bit weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely. For the character, I mean, I kind of see what they're getting at. They want to make his character like he wasn't a very boisterous kind of guy. He was pretentious, but kind of didn't talk that much. Kind of kept to himself, but just kind of almost the loner sort of thing.
Definitely.
So I can see. Well, that's more or less my perception of what they're trying to do with the character, and I can kind of see that Frankenstein being that way. But you know, for TV purposes, I mean, they have to make it just a little bit more interesting. So.
Yeah, I want some more dynamics, and I also want to understand why the creature is so... All I've seen him really do is snap people's necks. It's not necessarily something that's supernatural ability or strength to defy him. So I don't really get if he is super, he's got super strength or not.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So I at this point I don't think so. I think they're just kind of staying on the outside of the circle on that one. So they're making you think there's a possibility, but I don't think he'll have any or has any.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And that's what I don't... Can't he just be killed with a bullet? Why doesn't Frankenstein going to start carrying a gun and just bam?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a really good point. Very good point. So there's a possibility right there. And who knows, they could go that way, but I doubt it. I think they might drag this creature out a little bit more.
I know. I think, are we in the 6th episode? So I think, oh yeah, that's right, because we only have 2 episodes left, I think. I don't know if that's before the finale, so there's 3 episodes, but we're coming to the end. I really do hope that Vanessa is exorcised and she finally gets relief from this demon, and we can kind of move on to her next thing. 'Cause it's sad to see her so powerful in some scenes and then get, pulled down this rabbit hole of this demon. Oh, and quickly, one more thing about the show. What did you think about her performance in the previous episode? I know you hadn't seen it last week.
It wasn't bad. It was, I think I was expecting a little more, but, it wasn't bad.
Did I oversell it?
Nah, not quite. No, like I was kind of there. Like she had her moments.
Yeah, I thought I thought she was outstanding. I'm very excited that she's on here. I don't know. I thought it was really good. I think against all the other kind of humdrum of all the other characters, they're not getting a chance to really have the pizzazz. So when she's getting to do something that's so electric, it kind of opposite everyone else. It has even more of a firecracker effect, if you will.
Right. No, fair enough. Like yeah, she wasn't like I wouldn't say she was horrible. It was decent. But I think I was expecting just a little bit more. But either way, no, she did a good job. So.
Yay! So we're all looking forward to the final episode. Ciao.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. It should be fairly interesting.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see which way they go. So next up, I just got some news, some rock and roll news mainly. And actually, this one isn't rock and roll, but let's cue the music here. There is going to be an unauthorized Saved by the Bell movie coming to Lifetime in September.
I'm so excited! I heard about it last night.
So, yeah, there's gonna be a movie pretty much based on their lives as actors on the show and that sort of thing. And there was like I think it was Dustin Diamond wrote like whatever it was, and kind of saying there was like sex and drugs on the set for that 3-year span, and how they had to stay like kind of perfect in the limelight because they were in the limelight for like 3 years and in the public eye, and they're playing these certain characters, and so none of them, I think, Dustin Diamond and Mark Paul Gosselaar will be in it for a few minutes, but otherwise they've gotten different actors and actresses to portray them. And I think I got the list right here, and I'll let you know who they are. I mean, some of them I kind of have an idea, but some that I don't really watch the shows that these people are coming from, so that doesn't really help. Let's see. They have first guy is going to be where is it? Dylan Everett. He's from Degrassi Next Generation, and he'll be playing Mark Paul Gosselaar, so Zach Morris. Kenneth from Shameless will be Dustin Diamond, so Screech. Julianne Works from Paranormal Activity will be playing, and then she's in the Mark ones as well. Julian. I thought I said Julianne there for a second. So Julian, he'll be playing Mario Lopez, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but and then Tiara Taylor Russell Mackenzie from Blink, and she'll be playing Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Nice.
So I'll be September 1st on Lifetime at 9 p.m. For those of you who actually want to see it. So
I do. I love Lifetime movies already. They're kind of my guilty pleasure, so I think I'll be tuning in. It sounds like it's going to kind of be like that Brady Bunch movie, behind-the-scenes movie they made a few years ago when the guy played Greg, Barry Williams, wrote his story.
Right.
So it should be interesting.
Just right there, Britt, the start of your sentence, you pretty much like stamp the stereotype right in the head that Lifetime is a chick station or a chick channel. His first words out of your mouth was, "I love Lifetime movies."
I think that if I were a guy, I would still like Lifetime. But, well, it's so I don't know. It's I think the thing with Lifetime is you kind of have to respect. I always respected they have a reckless abandon with their stories, and so they're just really going all out for it. And you kind of gotta respect that bravery. So as just a watcher in general, devoid of gender, I try to look at it very objectively, and I hope that I would like it even if I was a man. But I understand why men sometimes is a little too much for them.
So yeah, that's just funny because I mean that's always the joke, right? So.
Oh yes, it is, and I know they've been trying to rebrand for a while to try to reach a broader audience. But hey, I mean, stick with who's made it work, I guess you'd say, because I've kind of been. I don't know, some of the movies have been a little bit of a turn off lately, but I still always will support that network.
Right on. So that will be coming up September 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to check that out, the Saved by the Bell unauthorized movie. Next up, Jack White at the Bonnaroo Festival the other week played a 2.5-hour show and pretty much covering everything he's done. So the White Stripes, the Raconteurs, the Dead Weather, and the newest one, Lazaretto. And apparently it was an awesome show and everybody loved it compared to the night before with our old buddy Kanye, who played about an hour and a half, maybe that.
Yeah, he got booed off the stage, or he didn't leave the stage, but I heard he got booed.
Yeah, so there you go, and you can actually stream it on the Rolling Stone app or on the website online. So you can check that out for sure. Few other things here too. Here we go. Oh yeah. Casey Kasem, dead at 82. And it's so sad because obviously he was a huge radio voice for a long time because he did the Billboard Top 40. And he also did this character.
I wonder what's behind that curtain, Scoob.
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. If people didn't know that, Casey Kasem did Shaggy's voice in Scooby-Doo, the original Scooby-Doo.
He sure did. And he made I don't know if it was more than one, but he made a guest appearance on Saved by the Bell.
Actually, no, you're right. Now I think about it, I can picture because they did a few episodes where they actually had a radio station.
That's right.
So because they were like DJing, I guess like for the radio in school, that sort of thing. So now that I do remember. He's done some other cameos too. I can't remember all of them, but he's been on quite a few shows as well. So it's sad that he passed away, but he's done quite a few things, and pretty much everybody knows who he is or who he was. Sorry, but a great guy, a great voice, and yeah, the first thing I ever heard him on was Scooby-Doo. So that was the start of Casey Kasem for me. Next up, AC/DC is going to be hitting the road possibly sooner than later, which is good because I had to take a little time off because guitarist Malcolm Young fell ill, so he had to kind of take a break for a little bit. But they are planning an anniversary tour for next February for the 40th anniversary, and they want to play about 40 gigs, so they're working on that. So that'd be cool for all you AC/DC fans because they have been on the road in about 4 years, so it'd be cool to see them if you haven't seen them. Billy Corgan was honored for pretty much a Reach Out wrestling program in Chicago where he lives and is a native to, and it's pretty much for inner city kids, that sort of thing. And he was got the award with a few other people, but it was actually well deserved. And whoever thought Billy Corgan would be into wrestling? So there you go, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins.
He's smashing people.
Yeah. So just a few more things here, and we'll see if this actually happens. But Courtney Love said that she wants to finally make amends with Dave Grohl. And earlier this month, if you got a chance to see it, if not, I can post the videos for it. For the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, Dave Grohl gave Courtney Love a hug, and he told the Hollywood Reporter that that was actually sincere. And he says, we're family, despite a bumpy past, we're still family in the end. So it's time to put this, pretty much put this to rest. And, I'm hoping so because, no, they've been battling for years. They haven't spoke. That was the first time they spoke in 20 years. So
Yeah, it was the first time for everything.
yeah, so pretty much the first time since, obviously, Kurt Cobain committed suicide. So the first time they spoke in 20 years, and before that they were feuding, but it's essentially feuding via lawyers and stuff like that, because she had a lot of control, and, they weren't getting fair rights, and it was a whole debacle, just one mess after another mess. And of course, Courtney Love, being the stand-up person she is, in 2011, she wrote several rude things about Dave Grohl on her social media, so most likely Twitter, that sort of thing. And at one point, accused him of living off her late husband's royalties. And I remember seeing that, and I still think, is she out of her mind? Does Foo Fighters, them Crooked Vultures, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Queens of the Stone Age, do none of these bands mean anything to you that he's been a part of or helped out in some way? I don't think he needs those royalties to live. He's doing just fine on his own.
I totally agree. I don't really know where maybe you can help me understand because you've read some biographies and stuff, but why she feels so much hate for him in particular? I
don't know. I mean, it's pretty much, she's considered this generation's Yoko Ono, right? So
that's true.
But, if she wasn't, I'm not going to say the word I want to say, but if she wasn't such a, you know what I mean, and spewing this stuff out all the time, maybe there wouldn't be all these issues, because she's just one of those people that loves to complain and keeps digging herself these huge holes and doesn't seem like she ever learns. So
Well, that's what happens when you have a band called Hole. You just keep digging them.
Yeah, zing. I wish I had a rim shot for that one.
Oh, yes. We need to get one of those.
I'm sure I can find one. We'll always keep it queued.
Yay. Because even if it's not funny, when someone plays that, it just, for some reason, it makes me laugh.
Oh, that the crickets going in the background.
Exactly.
Anybody?
Chirp, chirp.
Yeah, exactly. Can I interest you in the pants party? What? The party in the pants? Yeah. Brick, are you trying to tell me there's a party in your pants and I'm invited? Yes. Did Mom pick us up to use? Yeah. So, Steve, what about you? Want to go to a party in my pants? All right, let's go. You know, that's always gonna laugh out loud for everybody who's watching, but in there it's probably like it's like kind of quick to going like, what is just going on here?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the only reason I went over that part is because I had it relevant. I wasn't just randomly spouting off Anchorman there. I had a point to it.
Okay. Well, Anchorman does open the show, so it's coming full circle.
Yeah, so yeah. So we'll be sure to have those for next time. So just for fun, I'm sure I can find some sort of MP3 format somewhere.
Yay!
But the last thing I have for Rock Notes is nothing on Jack White. He's been setting records with this really quick album, Lazaretto, which sold 40,000 LPs and 57,000 downloads in its first week, I believe it was.
Impressive.
So yeah, it's been doing well. It's pretty much doing exactly what he said he was going to do. It's going to be a quick, good album, and it's going to sell a lot. People are really going to dig this, and people are.
I'm excited for him. I think he's a great musician and always brings this really cool flavor of a bunch of different sounds together. It's very eclectic, so I enjoy it.
You know, I'll never forget the very first time I heard White Stripes, and my buddy had it on his car, but it wasn't their first single, Fell in Love with a Girl. It was a song. It's pretty much the first song on their album. I believe it's White Blood Cells, and it's Dead Leaves in the Dirty Ground.
Oh.
And that was the very first song I heard. I was like, this is awesome. I loved it from the start. So, and I picked up his other bands, like the Raccoon Tours are cool, and the Dead Weather is really cool. I really like the Dead Weather, so he's very versatile, we'll put it that way.
Definitely. And one of the things that's interesting is he's always had this kind of air of mysteriousness just around the whole White Stripes, and people still think that she was his sister, so that's always it's very interesting.
I know, eh?
No one really knows. Yeah, I know. But it's like something where people believed it for so long that when the truth came out, it's kind of hard to stick the genie back in the bottle, so to speak.
Well, exactly, but it was good. It was good marketing, though. I mean, they were good regardless of that initial question, but they still did really well, and pretty much, White Stripes, even though Meg played drums, it pretty much was Jack White. He's the one that kind of stood out, and it will obviously be the frontman of the band. He completely took control of just being one out of two people. So
yeah, he's a really creative, inventive, refreshing talent on the scene. I definitely think he pushes other artists to be the best they can be.
So I've got that there, and that will wrap it up for the Rock Notes, and that's today's. That's the latest and greatest, and were obviously some other stuff. It just wait a minute. I almost completely forgot this one. Peter Gabriel is getting back together with Genesis to do a documentary on Genesis on the BBC, which is awesome. And they're kind of kiboshing the fact of saying that it's just going to be for this documentary purpose. We're not going to do any touring, and then or reading a tour is looking. Oh, come on, that would be amazing. I would definitely pay to see that.
That would be pretty cool.
Because Peter Gabriel started in Genesis and left in 1975, which is when Phil Collins took the leap from drummer to frontman singer. And obviously, everybody knows what happened with that as well, so they did extremely well. And to see all of them back together again and doing like a couple shows would be really cool. Like, even if I didn't get to see them live, even if I got to see like a DVD or what have you, or like a streaming of this show live, that'd be still cool. So
yeah, they should put that online and like do a YouTube event and have everyone stream it.
I would definitely pay for that. Absolutely, I would love to see that.
That'd be awesome. Now, if Peter Gabriel comes back, reuniting, will Phil Collins come back as well, or?
No, he will be there. I mean, he will be there for the documentary. So all 5 of them will be there for the documentary. But for that, if they actually do a tour, I'm not sure. I mean, I would think so, but I'm not 100% on that. And even the tour is not. They're like I said, they're trying to kibosh it right now. They haven't really. They haven't completely said no, but I guess they're kind of leaving mystery in it to kind of leave us guessing, because maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they do, I don't think it'll be a huge tour. I mean, Peter Gabriel, I guess most of them are used to it. I mean, Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins are, but like the rest of the guys, I don't know really what they've been doing, so who knows how much a tour they'll be able to stand. So we'll see if it happens. I'm not counting on it, but I'm kind of hoping that it might happen.
I do too. I think that would be really neat. So, story developing.
Yeah, exactly. So, now I'm done.
Okay.
So, your blogs this week, what did you get into?
Okay, well, this week was the finale of FX's it was kind of a mini-series, I guess you'd say, but limited series. I think that's what they went for. Fargo, and I wrote a blog called Thin Ice, The Morality Tale of Fargo, which kind of explores the dynamic between the 2 lead characters, and, it was a very good show. It ended, I was still kind of, ruminating about the finale. Things didn't really end up the way I thought that not really as much as I thought that they would, but the way that I was hoping they would, let's put it that way. And so just kind of a little bit of that was actually written before the finale aired to prep everyone about, I was getting in the zone ready for this finale. So it's very interesting. It is definitely a show that you just can keep thinking about, and I really did enjoy it. So there was that, and also last night they had the Critics' Choice Awards, and Billy Bob Thornton won for his portrayal of Lord Malvo on the show. So he gave a really nice speech, and it's always cool when you see award shows, because I've been seeing Billy Bob Thornton as his character for the past 10 weeks, and just to remind myself how different he is to the character just gives you an appreciation of what an amazing performance it was on the show. And then today I'll be posting the Song of the Week. It returns. It's been on hiatus for a while. But this week's pick is Over You from Ingrid Michaelson's new album, Lights Out. It's a duet with A Great Big World, who had that smash hit duet with Christina Aguilera, Say Something. Quite frankly, I like this song much more than Say Something. And Say Something was really good. It's a poignant ballad. It's a duet. Their voices, the harmonies, is an amazing, it is a really tremendous song. It really makes you feel something. And the best new movie bets, so today, the 3 releases, Think Like a Man 2, The Rover, Jersey Boys. The Rover opened in Cannes. I'm kind of excited to see that because of Guy Pearce, but Robert Pattinson is in it, and I've already seen one too many of his films, so I'm just... I have yet to see him. Seems like a really nice guy, but I have yet to see him in a performance and be particularly impressed. So I don't know. Maybe this will be the one, but I definitely want to see it for Guy Pearce. He's an amazing actor. Memento. I mean, I can name off several things. So that was that. And then what's this thing? I have some upcoming ones. Doing a review of the French film Little White Lies. So it's the perfect movie for summer. If you are in a staycation, meaning you are not going out on a vacation, you will feel like you went to France seeing this movie. It was so amazing. So I can't wait to get that out there, and hopefully some other things. And there was something else. Oh, and that's right. A new feature on Eclectic Pop this week. It's called Casting Brainstorm, and basically an upcoming movie that has yet to be casted, where the roles, these aren't roles that, these are fairly iconic roles, but they've just announced the live-action Beauty and the Beast, and I kind of make my picks and my arguments for why I think these actors would be the best picks for the role. So check that out. I'm very excited. I'm sure you're excited too to see the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. I sure am.
Well, after you've seen Maleficent, you can make this a double feature. So they're getting in on it. I told you that fairy tale craze. They're making these live action movies. So I was so excited. Bill Condon will be directing, who did Gods and Monsters and also directed the last 2 Twilight movies. But he's back. And hopefully Kristen Stewart does not get cast as Belle because I will be very angry. You will see my angry tweets about that.
Well, hopefully we won't see them, but you never know.
Yeah, don't make me do it.
So, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. So, it's been a pleasure, and like always, Britt, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and it's been so wonderful. And I hope everyone who's listening to have a great weekend.
All right, and we'll talk to you next week. Until next time, thanks for listening, guys.